Hey there, welcome back. It's Mrs. Matheson here. We're going to continue on with our Unit 1 Notes 2, and today we're going to be solving inequalities. Our learning target is I can write and solve multi-step inequalities. So this is going to be very similar to solving multi-step equations, and therefore we need to remember our 4 steps from our previous notes. The first step talks about simplify by distributing and combining like terms. Step 2 talks about gathering the variables to one side of the equal sign. Step 3, use addition or subtraction to cancel the constant. And step 4, use multiplication or division to cancel the coefficient. Pause the video if you need to get those jotted down. Let's jump into problem 1. Problem 1, let's follow those 4 steps because if you notice, problem 1 is just an equation. So this is going to be reminding us how to solve those inequalities by starting off with practicing on equations. So we're going to distribute because step 1 says to simplify each side of the equal sign by distributing or combining like terms. When we distribute, we're thinking multiplication. So we get negative 6x minus 10. And then keep our equals 4x plus 20. Step 2 says to gather the variables to one side of the equal sign. So I like to draw a little line to help me see each side. I'm going to move that negative 6x over. And so I'm thinking because I'm moving it over to the other side of the equal sign, I'm going to do the opposite. So I'm going to add 6x to both sides. We have negative 10 because that negative sign sticks with that 10. Equals 10x plus 20. Step 3, use addition or subtraction to cancel the constant. Remember, the constant is the term that doesn't have a variable, so that's this negative 20 here. So it's a positive 20. It's a positive 20, so we're going to minus it on each side. So therefore, we cancel. Negative 10 and a negative 20. We're thinking we're going to add those, so we get negative 30. Equals, bring down your 10x. All right, and step 4, use multiplication or division to cancel the coefficient. So we're going to divide by 10 on both sides. We cancel, and we get x, and negative 30 divided by 10 gives us negative 3. We can rewrite that as x equals negative 3. Either of those are going to be acceptable answers for us. All right, let's jump to problem 2. Problem 2, we see that there are some parentheses, and they're both on the same side of the equal sign. So we're thinking distributing and more distributing. So multiplying again, we get negative 7p, and here we have a negative times a positive, so we get negative 49 plus 3p, and 3 times negative 4 gives us negative 12 equals negative 17. Let's write that a little neater for you. Negative 17. Now, we aren't quite done with step 1 because it says distributing or combining like terms. If we look at the left side of our equal sign, we see a negative 7p and a positive 3p. Now, when they're on the same side of the equal sign, you're going to combine them or simplify them. We are not going to do the opposite because we're not crossing over that equal sign. So negative 7p, think about it, negative 7p plus 3p, that's going to give us negative 4p. All right, we have a negative 49 and a negative 12. Again, they're both on the same side of the equal sign, so we're going to combine those, and we're going to get ourselves a negative 61 equals negative 17. Now we can move on to step 2. Gather the variables to one side of the equal sign. Hey, they're already there. Step 3, use addition or subtraction to cancel the constant. So we're going to add 61 to both sides. So we have negative 4p equals 44. And we're going to follow step 4, which says to use multiplication or division to cancel the coefficient. So we're going to divide by that negative. So positive 44 divided by negative 4 gives us a negative 11. All right, great job with that. I want you to try problems 3 and problems 4 on your own for the next day we have class. So that's just a little review on solving multi-step equations. Let's review some things about inequality symbols. So pause, fill this in on your chart. Fill this in on your chart. Then we have one last note to remember. It says remember to reverse the inequality symbol when multiplying or dividing by a negative number. So when you multiply by a negative number or you divide by a negative number, you're going to flip your inequality sign. And this is by a negative number. Okay, so let's take a look in the back side. Okay, so this says negative 4 times 5w minus 8 is greater than 52. We're going to solve this just like if so is an equal sign. So we're going to start by distributing our negative 4. So we get negative 20w, and then we get a positive 32 is greater than 52. Now we are still going to follow our steps. Step 2 says gather the variables to one side. Sweet, all the variables are on one side. Step 3, use addition or subtraction to cancel that constant. So we're going to subtract the 32 because we're crossing that inequality sign. So we have negative 20w is greater than 20. Now, we didn't multiply or divide, so we didn't have to worry about changing that inequality symbol. But now we are going to divide by negative 20. We're going to divide by a negative 20. So our w is now by itself. 20 divided by negative 20 turns to negative 1. And because we divided by a negative, we flip that inequality symbol to the other side. All right, so now we're going to graph this. Graphing them on a number line, really easy. We're going to start off by just labeling negative 1. All right, so when we talk about our circles around the negative 1, we need to talk about an open or a closed circle. Because this inequality sign looks like one of these two, this is going to be an open circle. You're probably going to want to jot this down somewhere in your notes because it's not listed out for you. If you have an equals to portion, it is going to be a closed circle. Okay, a closed circle. Because this one is not equal to, we're going to have open. Now here's the big hint. If your variable is on your left side of your inequality symbol, the inequality symbol points the direction we should shade. So we're going to shade to the left because it points to left. And think about it. W is less than negative 1. Where are all your numbers less than 1 or less than negative 1? They're on your left-hand side. Okay. Then I want you to try and solve the inequality for number 6, and we're going to actually graph number 6 in class together. So solve for the inequality, but we're going to graph in class together. All right, so then let's take it to 7. 7, I actually want you to do the same thing. I want you to solve the inequality on your own, but we're going to graph it in class. All right, great. Oh, you know what? I see here that our problem on the board is not the same in our notes. Now it's the same as in our notes. So go ahead and do the one that is in your notes. Okay. Then we're going to actually do problem 8 together because 8 seems to trip people up with that b divided by negative 3. So we're going to follow our steps again. It says simplify each side of the equation or equal sign by distributing and combining like terms. We don't have anything to distribute. We don't have anything to combine. Step 2, gather the variables to one side of the inequality sign. Hey, that's done for us too. Step 3, use addition or subtraction to cancel the constant. So that means this plus 5. That's the constant. So we're going to minus 5. So we get b divided by negative 3. We didn't multiply or divide by a negative, so our inequality stays the same. And now we have that 5. Step 4, use multiplication or division to cancel the coefficient. Now we need to get rid of that divide by negative 3. So the opposite of dividing is going to be multiplying. So we're going to multiply on both sides by a negative. We have our b. 5 times negative 3 gives us negative 15. Remember, we multiplied by a negative, so we're going to change that inequality sign to face the other direction. Let's get to graphing this problem. So we have our negative 15. It's not equal to, so again, remind yourself that we're going to have that open circle. And our variable is on the left-hand side, so it's pointing the direction that we should shade. B is greater than negative 15. That's where all of our numbers greater than negative 15 are. So go ahead and make sure you've shaded to the right. Okay, so you guys have problems 3, 4, 6, and 7 to finish up for our class tomorrow, and we'll hit those word problems when you guys come to class, and we'll see you then. Bye. Bye.